Welcome in, everyone. We are live. And we're not just live on YouTube today, we are also simulcasting on TikTok. So welcome in, everyone. I'll be handling two chats tonight. Got the chat up here. I'm about to get started here soon, but this is the Dusty Tron channel. We post great content all the time. On Tuesdays, we post game picks. On Wednesdays, we post power rankings. On Thursdays, we generally stream the Thursday night football game, but that might be shaking up a little bit here. Thursday night football, I'm very glad I didn't stream that one last week. The stinker of a game that was the Raiders and Broncos. That one was one of the historically worst games in the of all time from an efficiency standpoint. So I'm kind of glad I didn't have to sit through that one. But this week we bring to you instead the Eagles at the Packers, which is a much more interesting game with a lot more on the line. So glad to have you with us. And I apologize if my attention is a little split today. I've never tried a simulcast, so gonna try to pay attention to both. While bringing you a great play-by-play. Great play-by-play and live reaction. All right, but yeah, Eagles and Packers. This is a big one tonight. The Packers need to get back on track after losing to my Carolina Panthers last week, but it's just something about that. It was more about that they weren't able to stop the run game of Carolina, and I think the Saints this week gave teams a pretty good blueprint on how to stop the Panthers. Stop the run game. That's all you got to do. That's really all you got to do to stop the Panthers is take the run game out of the equation, because Bryce Young, he's just showing he's not good enough to win games on his own, and our defense isn't good enough. It's made strides this year, but it's got more room to grow, and if they have to play a physical defensive game, eventually they're going to wear down. And that's what you saw against New Orleans this week. Carolina didn't come to play. New Orleans blitzed frequently, was able to stifle the running game, were able to get sacks, and yeah, we just had no answer for it. So if Carolina has any playoff aspirations, and really, we're winning the division or we're getting the number 7 playoff seed. I really see those as the only ways that we're going to get in. But yeah, after losing to the 1-win Saints, not looking so great. But yet, might have been an off week after a big emotional win in Lambeau. So maybe we'll come back and have a good game against the Falcons. The problem is that there's a lot of difficult games down the stretch. The beginning of the season was the easy part, but we've got 4 more? No, 1, 2, 3... 4, yeah, 4 more divisional games, and we've still got the Rams and the Seahawks, so that is going to be difficult. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel here on YouTube Live and TikTok. We post great content all the time, so if you can give a subscribe or a follow if you're on TikTok. Looks like we've got one person in the chat on TikTok. Hello. Game's just about to get started. This is a live reaction stream, so I will be giving my reactions to Eagles versus Packers. Yeah, on TikTok, it doesn't really seem like there's a way for me to indicate that that's what the stream is for. I posted earlier in the day to say, hey, yeah, that's what the stream is for, but not really a particular way to show that is what the stream is for. But yes, Eagles Packers Monday Night Football coming up soon, and we're going to be chatting about it. Thank you for everyone who is choosing to spend part of your evening with me. But Eagles Packers, big game tonight. Actually, if I'm looking at the playoff picture, let's take a look here. Because I think the Packers fell a little bit after that loss to the Panthers. Still loading on NFL.com. All right, yeah. So it's the battle between the number 2 and the number 3 seeds in the NFC. So a big game here, yeah, especially for big implications on seeding heading down the stretch. I actually saw a stat earlier where the Packers tend to win during the regular season, but when it comes to the postseason, the Eagles definitely win more. The Eagles are they have won 3 out of the 4 matchups in the playoffs, including last year. All right. Game is just about to start here. Jake Elliott at the 35-yard line getting ready to kick off. There's the kick. And it's going to be returned. I believe that's Savion Williams. And he's got it to 35. Got a couple more yards there. Looks like it's going to be the 39 where they get him down. All right, so we've got the first drive starting at the 39-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Green Bay Packers. Love under center and the single back. Josh Gordon's behind him. It's a handoff. Josh Jacobs behind him. Josh Gordon, that's a name we haven't had in a while. The possession football's got to move here. For those of you on TikTok, I am also streaming this on YouTube Live, and there's a scoreboard graphic where I move the possession football every time there's a change in possession. Right now it is Packers ball. All right, we've got a 2nd down. Love out of the shotgun. 2nd and 5. Throws to Josh Jacobs. And he's going to turn it upfield, and he gets it to about the 50-yard line. So this will be a 1st down as we tick under 14 minutes of the first quarter. 1st down for the Green Bay Packers. The Eagles, they are wearing a uniform combination they have only worn one other time in their history, and it was when they were playing the Green Bay Packers in Brazil, where they've got the black Eagles helmet with the black pants. So that's a combination they don't do very frequently. And last time they did it was against Green Bay, and they're doing it again. All right, so we've got Love under center. He takes the snap, hands it to Josh Jacobs. That looks like it's going to be a gain of about 3 yards. But yeah, both of these teams definitely fighting for this win. All right, we've got a 2nd and 7. Love in the shotgun. He's got a receiver in motion, hands it off to Josh Jacobs, and he's down for about 3. So we've got a 3rd and 3 upcoming. Third and 3, Packers. They're at the Eagles' 43-yard line. Love out of the shotgun, hands it off to Jacobs, and he pushes forward, gets it to the 40. That looks like a first down. Oh, so they're saying he was marked short. 4th and 1. Love pushes forward, and he's definitely got on the QB draw. So, yeah, they marked him down. They hike it really quick. They snap it really quick. Love able to just sneak it forward, and they get a fresh set of downs. Yeah, just really able to get a good push there. They hurried up to the line. The Eagles weren't really able to fully prep for it. First and 10, Love out of the shotgun with Jacobs behind him. Another handoff to Jacobs. The Packers really like getting Josh Jacobs a lot of carries and getting him involved earlier. They're definitely doing that here, but only goes for about 2. All right. We've got a 2nd and 9 coming up. Love out of the shotgun again. Looks like it's going to be a 4-man rush for the Eagles. He's got Emmanuel Wilson to his right. Love steps up. Oh, he's got a scramble. He's going back too far. He's going to get sacked. No, that's not Sweat. He went over to the Cardinals. Hang on. Who is that? Number 58. Jalix Hunt gets the sack there. Yeah, and Love makes a mistake and just keeps going backwards on this one and loses a lot of yardage there. Probably at least a 15-yard loss. Yeah, has trouble holding on to the ball there. Fortunately, he didn't fumble. We've got a 3rd and 20. That was a bad play as we took under 10 minutes to play. Love goes deep. Does he have a man? No, it's overthrown. Christian Watson just playing defense to make it so that Quinion Mitchell doesn't pick it off. And this is going to be a punt for the Packers. So, yeah, the Packers didn't really have great success on offense last week against Carolina. And it's kind of seeming like they're resuming where they picked off this week. Left off last week. Engage the YouTube chat a little bit here. I'm trying to remember. I think I had the Eagles win. No, I think I had the Packers winning this one. Because I liked that they were at home. I have to reconsult my picks, though. So Packers getting ready to punt. It's going to be the Eagles' first possession of the game. It's 0-0 with about, let's look over here, 9:42 left in the first quarter. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube, Live, and TikTok. So yeah, this is my first time live streaming on TikTok, so I will confess I'm not super experienced with what I'm doing, so bear with me a little bit. For the Packers, they got a couple first downs. I believe they got 2 first downs on their first possession, but after that, just kind of stalled out. It was really the the sack that Love took. Oh, I've got to change the possession football. Oh, well, I don't think they actually punted it. So, yeah, that's right. Because Quinion Minshall, he was down on the field after that last play. So, Quinion Mitchell, they didn't actually get to the point where they punted. So the Packers still technically have possession, although they will be punting it away momentarily. Little bit slow going so far today. No one really joining the YouTube chat. I see people joining in the TikTok chat. Hello, everyone who's joining. All right, so yeah, Quinion Mitchell going into the medical tent. Packers gonna punt. There's 9 minutes and 42 seconds left on the clock. And here's the punt. It's looking like an okay punt. It's fair caught at the 9-yard line. And so Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense coming onto the field. We'll see what they can do here. All right, we got 9 minutes and 35 seconds to go. 1st and 10. Jalen Hurts under center. He's got Saquon Barkley in the backfield. All right, there's the handoff. He goes left side. Going to get about 3 yards, taken down by number 95. Let's see who that is on the Packers side. Devontae Wyatt. Second and 7 upcoming as we scroll under 9 minutes to play in the first quarter. Micah Parsons, no pressures last week against Carolina. Can he do better this week? He's on the field now on the left side of the right side of the line. And there's a completion to A.J. Brown. He's going to be about 1 yard shy of the first down. So this is a 3rd and 1 for the Eagles. Little quick comeback route for A.J. Brown. Able to get a good gain there. Makes it very third and short, 3rd and manageable. Oh, possession football needs to move. Dun dun. Well, looks like Eagles are coming out with the tush push. And they do it, and it looks like Hurts easily gets the first down. About a 2-yard gain there, so another first down for no, not another. First down for Philadelphia. They keep the drive alive. Yeah, the tush push, there's just not a lot you can do about it in those short yardage situations. And yeah, that one, the Packers kind of just completely missed. All right, it's a toss to Saquon on the left side. He's going to get about 3. It does look like on the replay here that there was a false start on Philadelphia there. Refs did not catch it. Or maybe they did and they just didn't call it. Hurts under center, 2nd and 7, 7:15 left to play in the first quarter. It's a handoff to Saquon. Oh, he makes a good cut, and he's got some green. He's going to get it to the 40-yard line. About a pick of a 15 yards. Yeah, it's just the Eagles line does a great job opening up some space for Saquon here, and it's a great jump cut by Barkley as well to hit the hole. Barkley hasn't been having as good of a season as he did last year, but he is still an extremely talented running back. All right. It's the 39-yard line where the Eagles have it. Under 6.5 to play. Hurts hands it off, and this is, I think that's Tank Bigsby. Yep, he's going to get about 4. Nice run by Tank Bigsby there. Had some initial contact and was able to get about 2 extra yards. Oh, they give him 5. That's generous. Okay. So it's a 2nd and 5 upcoming. Eagles setting up. Parsons on the field for this play. Hurts in the backfield. In the shotgun. I think that's still Tank Bigsby behind him. Yep. All right, Hurts draws back, throws. It's incomplete, intended for Devonta Smith. So a 3rd and 5 coming up here. Eagles hoping to keep the drive alive. They were able to get a good, well, actually, it was right after the A.J. Brown play that they did the tush push last set of down, they did a tush push. If they get close enough on 4th down, we'll see if they do it. It's a 3rd and 5. See what they come out with here. All right, we've got Hurts. And there's a flag. That might be a false start. See what the call is here. It is indeed a false start on Philadelphia. Going to change something really quick here. All right, we've got a 3rd down and 10. That definitely makes it a little bit trickier. Hurts out of the shotgun. I can't tell if that's Barkley. I don't think it is. That might be Will Shipley. All right, Parsons chasing. Parsons getting some pressure on, but Hurts is able to avoid him. Completes the pass to Shipley, and that's going to be a 1st down for the Eagles, about an 11-yard gain. So we're talking about how last week Micah Parsons did not get any quarterback pressures. He's in the backfield here, but Jalen Hurts is able to outrun him by scrambling to the right. And yeah, just he's able to get that pass off. Yeah, he had like 3 people chasing him. But Hurts able to find the open man. All right. So we've got a 1st down handoff. That's to Barkley. Looks like he got about 2. We've got a 2nd and 8 upcoming. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live and TikTok. Simulcasting tonight. The Eagles are wearing their black helmets with their white jerseys and black pants. They've only worn that combination one other time, and it was when they were playing the Packers in Brazil last year. It's a handoff to Barkley on 2nd down. Oh, he misses a guy, makes a guy miss. Gets about 2, trying to go on the right side. This is another big 3rd down for the Packers. Every set of downs is going to 3rd down for Philadelphia, but they keep finding a way to convert. Kind of keep grinding away at this Packers defense. We're under 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. 0-0, Eagles and Packers knotted up. All right. Hurts. It's a 3rd and 5. He's got Shipley in the backfield with him. The Packers bring 4 throws. Oh, that's easy. To Devonta Smith. Goes for about 7 and another first down. So no big flashy plays for the Eagles, but enough of the 5 to 7 yard range plays to keep the chains consistently moving, as they're now going to be at about the 40-yard line of Green Bay. Maybe even, that's more like the 37. Yep. Oh, Parsons gets in the backfield again, but Hurts able to avoid him. Gets it over to A.J. Brown at about the 30-yard line. Want to say that's a pickup of 7. Under 3 minutes to play in the first. The Eagles just taking a lot of time with this drive, continuing to grind down on the Packers. They're at the 30-yard line of Green Bay. Jahan Dotson moving in motion before the snap. It's a handoff to Will Shipley, and he might have gotten it. Might have gotten the first down on 2nd and 3. All right, it is indeed a 1st and 10 as we wind under 2 minutes left in the first quarter. The Eagles draining a lot of clock on this drive. It is 0-0, Eagles versus the Packers on Monday Night Football. Hurts under center. Fakes the handoff to Barkley. He's rolling around trying to find someone. Packers pursuing, and he's just going to throw it out of bounds, incomplete. Yeah, couldn't find anyone open downfield. Green Bay was starting to bear down a bit, and he just got to get rid of it. We'll see what the Eagles come up with. The second down here. It's 2nd and 10. They've got it at the Packers' 26-yard line. There's a handoff to Barkley on the right side. Packers do a good job covering it up. So he's going to get to about the 25. So this is a 3rd and 9. This is the longest. Well, no, I take that back. The last set of downs, it was a 3rd and 10. They've got a 3rd and 8 officially here. But if the Eagles don't get this, will they settle for a field goal? Third and 8. Got Hurts in the backfield in the shotgun. Saquon Barkley goes out as a wide receiver. He's got 5 wide receivers. 3rd and 8. And Hurts is just going to keep it. He's got a blocker up in front, and he's going to get it. Oh! Fumble at the end of the play. Was he down? They haven't ruled it down yet. The Green Bay Packers scooped it up and ran with it. And this might be Packer ball. We'll have to see at the end of the play here. Hurts, the ball came out, but was he down? Hurts kind of not acting like it. Watching. Oh, it's a good punch, and the ball is out. Cooper punches the ball out right there. Yep. Hurts is not down. This is a fumble. So a big break for the Packers. The defense makes a big play when they continually were getting chipped away at with 5 to 7 yard gains. But the Packers able to get possession back as we move the possession football. Dun dun. We've got about 49 seconds left in the first quarter. 0-0 Eagles versus Packers. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live and TikTok. All right, so looking at the playoff picture currently, we've got, for the AFC, the Colts are the 1 seed. Still kind of crazy how that's going on. I really do think that it is Jonathan Taylor that is, he's just carrying that team right now. I know there's a lot of talk about Daniel Jones, and he's doing what he has to, but it's Jonathan Taylor that's carrying that team. We saw it this Sunday with the game against the Falcons. Just absolutely went crazy. But that being said, there's also contract talks to give Daniel Jones a big, like, $150 million extension, because he's only on a 1-year deal with Indianapolis. So, like, if they get into the playoffs and they maybe win a playoff game or something, he is going to get paid again. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if the Colts end up regretting that. To be fair, though, Daniel Jones is playing a lot better than he did in that 1 year, the contract year with the New York Giants, where he got the extended contract. The Broncos, they are second in the AFC at an 8-2 record. The Patriots are third at an 8-2 record. So, yeah, those top 3 teams in the AFC there are Colts, Broncos, and Patriots. All teams, well, okay, the Broncos made it as the 7th seed last year. But besides that, Colts and Patriots did not make the postseason last year. So that's really interesting that they're so high right here. The Chargers, they are 5th. The Bills are 6th. The Jaguars are 7th. They're only in 7th, though, because they have the tiebreaker over the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 5-4. The Jaguars, horrible choke job versus the Texans. They were up 29-10 in the fourth quarter with 12 minutes left and found a way to lose the game. And that was not against C.J. Stroud. That was against Davis Mills. Davis Mills is not a good quarterback in the NFL, but the Jaguars made him look like John Elway or something at the end of that game. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel. The Packers. Oh! It's a fumble snap. I think the Packers fell back on it. So the Packers just got a fumble from the Eagles. But it looks like a botched handoff here from Love to Josh Jacobs. And fortunately, the Packers fall on it. Looks like Jordan Love got back on it. Yeah, Jordan Love does fall back on that snap. But they lose 3 yards, 2nd and 13. We're almost at the end of the first quarter. Barring an incompletion or a penalty, this will probably be the last play. Love takes it, throws it quick, gets swatted down. So there's going to be 5 seconds left. There will be another play in the corner. It's Jalen Carter who swats it down. Yeah, just Jalen Carter got his big hands up there. Knocks it right down. Love doesn't get it over him. 5 seconds to go in the first quarter. 3rd and 13 for the Packers. Love in the shotgun. We've got 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and Josh Jacobs, who's lined up as a blocker on the line, it looks like. Love rolls out to the right, trying to direct some traffic, trying to get that first down. It looks like he's going to be a yard short. Jordan Love going to be a yard short, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter. It is 0-0. Eagles and Packers knotted up here on Monday Night Football. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel on YouTube Live and TikTok. So going back to the playoff picture, that was the AFC side of things. The NFC side of things, we have the Seattle Seahawks at 1, the Eagles at 2, the Packers at 3, which is why this is such a big game for seeding, because the Eagles and Packers will get the tie. They'll have the tiebreaker over each other. The Packers with that weird 5-2-1 record, but they're for all intents and purposes like 6-2. But yeah, if they beat the Eagles, they will be ahead of the Eagles. If the Eagles win this one, they will be ahead of the Packers. The Bucks, they round things out at the 4th seed. They've been trending down a little bit. They started the season out really hot, but I believe they were 4-1. It's 2-2 in their last 4. It looks like they are. Didn't intentionally mean to sound like Yoda saying that, but we've got the Rams at 5, the Lions at 6, and my gosh, the Bears are in the playoff picture at 7. My Panthers, they're ranked at number 9. Everyone was losing. All we had to do was beat the Saints, and we couldn't do that. Now, granted, to be fair, the Bears did end up beating the Giants, so we wouldn't be in the playoff picture this week anyways. But yeah, that Saints loss, that one hurt. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live and simulcasting on TikTok. We post great content all the time. On Tuesdays, I post my weekly picks. On Wednesday, I post my power rankings. And on Thursdays, we usually stream Thursday Night Football, but that's changing a little bit. Because the last Thursday Night Football game was Raiders and Broncos, and I decided, you know what? I'm actually going to stream a game that is good. So I decided to stream Monday Night Football, Eagles-Packers instead, and it seems to be the right choice so far because that Raiders-Broncos game, oh gosh, that looked like it was awful. So yeah, Jordan Love is about a foot short there. He's definitely short of the line to gain. 4th and 1, are the Packers going to go for it? They're at like their own 45-yard line. They went for a 4th down earlier, but they were able to kind of catch the Eagles off guard with it. This went to commercial, and there was a big rest. There was a commercial timeout. Love under center. He's got Josh Jacobs behind him. They scramble it again. They quarterback sneak. Oh, Love got it, but there is a flag. And it looks like it's going to be on the Packers. It is indeed a false start. And so, given that, I don't think you're going to be going for it on 4th down. Yeah, it's a good call. The guy definitely starts moving early. But it is unfortunate because they definitely missed a false start on an Eagles player earlier on a tush push. So yeah, the Packers, they're going to punt after that. It's 4th and 6 in your own territory. Not such a great opportunity to go for it. The punter, Whalen, is going to punt it away from their own 40-yard line. And there's the punt. And it's fielded. It's number 87. Not quite sure who that is for the Eagles. And he's down. I missed it. He gained about 15 yards, though. All right, so the possession football needs to move. It is now the Eagles' ball. Dun dun. For the TikTok viewers, I do have a scoreboard view on my YouTube stream, and I have a little possession football that I move. So I moved from the Packers to the Eagles. That's a tradition on this channel. All right, so the Eagles starting up with a 1st and 10. 14:46 to play. They're at their own 21-yard line. Hurts in the shotgun with 3 wide receivers and Barkley to his right. It's a handoff to Saquon, trying to find some room to work with. Gets nothing. Loses about 3. Yeah, Barkley tried to find something on the right side, but the Packers, they penetrate the line really quick. Couldn't really find anything. Almost looks like, yeah, his lineman fell over and blocked his path. Yeah, his lineman slips. And so Barkley's trying to get around him. Can't really do it. And it is indeed a 3-yard loss. 2nd and 13. Hurts out of the shotgun, back to throw, throws it to Barkley, and he just kind of dives forward. Can't get back to the line of scrimmage, though. Loss of 1, so not a great drive right here going right now for Philadelphia. It's going to be 3rd and 14. Yeah, does Barkley slip? Or, yeah, he's got a guy in his face already, so yeah, he doesn't slip, but just can't really get going well there. Yeah, you would have thought it was the field in Brazil with all the slipping we saw recently, but yeah, no, this is the Packers Lambeau Field, and this is a draw play to Shipley. He's going to get a bit of yardage, but not nearly enough for the first down, so the Eagles are going to punt. As we wind under 13 to play in the second quarter, you're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel, being simulcast on YouTube and TikTok. All right, there's the punt from Philadelphia. 12.5 to play. This is Romeo Doubs returning the punt. He's going to get it to about their own 21-yard line. So Jordan Love going to come out again. 1st and 10 for Green Bay. Oh, possession football needs to move. Goes from the Eagles to the Packers. Dun dun. So yeah, so far the Eagles, they had one drive where they were able to get a decent amount of first downs, but then they fumbled deep into Packers territory at about the Packers 25-yard line. But then their second drive, 3 and out. The Packers, their first drive, they got about like 2 first downs, and then the second drive, those are 3 and out. There's only been those drives because the Eagles' first drive took like over 8 minutes off the clock. Literally every set of downs was going to 3 downs, basically, going to 3rd down, and they would just convert every one, and they even had a 4th down conversion on that drive. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dustytron channel. It was simulcasting on YouTube Live and TikTok Live. You can give me a follow if you like what you're watching, or subscribe on YouTube and click the like button if you like it, or the heart on TikTok, I believe, and subscribe to the channel to get notified of all my great content. But anyone, yeah, feel free to post in the chat anything about the game. It's definitely been a defensive struggle so far. No points. It's 0-0, Eagles and Packers. All right, we've got the Packers starting at their own 22-yard line, not 21. First and 10, 12:29 in the second. There's Love, hands it off to Josh Jacobs. He's going to push forward, still on his feet. That's about a 5-yard gain, I think. 2nd and 5 coming up. Yeah, Josh Jacobs, they really want to use him as a battering ram. Just keep beating down this Eagles defense. He's got a lot of carries so far, but a lot of carries, but not a whole lot of yardage. Actually, we can take a look at that over here on the stats. He's got 7 attempts for 31 yards, so nothing spectacular. It's a pitch over to Jacobs. Oh, there's a hole. He's going to get about 15 on that run. So good run for Josh Jacobs there, and it's a first down for Green Bay. Yeah, Josh Jacobs gets a good block from his tight end out of the backfield. They were in the I formation. Yeah, and Jacobs gets it to about the 40-yard line of Philadelphia. Or no, that would be their own 40-yard line. My bad. Sorry, it's the 38. Love under center. He's got his tight end in motion. Hands it off to Jacobs again. Him and Jonathan Taylor, I feel like were two of the biggest workhorse backs in the league. You could kind of say Rico Dowdle now, although he was kind of bottled up against the Saints. So he got 18 touches, but only like 50-something yards, so not very effective. 0-0, Eagles versus Packers, 2nd and 7 upcoming. Under 10.5 to play in the second quarter. Love out of the pistol. Hands it off to Josh Jacobs. And he's going to get stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 1, Eagles everywhere on that play. As we wind under 10 minutes to play in the second quarter. Green Bay trying to keep this drive alive. They are at their own 40-yard line. Yeah, 40-yard line. 3rd and 8 upcoming. Will the Eagles bring pressure? Got 4 people on the line. They've got a corner threatening. Corner backs off. They bring 4. Love throws. It's complete to his tight end, but that's not going to be enough. Yeah, I believe that's Luke Musgrave. But yeah, he's going to be about 2 yards shy of the first down marker. 4th and 2, though. Do the Packers attempt to go for it here? They've still got the offense on the field. We'll see. Last time they tried to do this, they got a false start penalty. They've got Emmanuel Wilson in here. I don't know if he's who you really want on a 4th and short play. You would think you'd want Josh Jacobs, and Love, I don't think they're snapping this. Nope. They let the play clock go down. They take the delay of game. They were just trying to pull the Eagles off sides. Which is never a bad thing to try that, but yeah, the Eagles remain disciplined on defense, and nothing comes of that. I do apologize a little bit. I'm getting over a little bit of a throat cold, so that's why I'm clearing my throat a bit. 4th and 7 upcoming after the delay of game penalty. About 8.5 to play in the second quarter. They punted away. And it goes into the end zone. That's going to be a touchback. So the Eagles will get it at the 20-yard line. Possession football needs to move. Dun dun. Still 0-0. Neither defense caving yet. You wonder if this is going to be one of those situations where the defense is playing really hard for the first half of the game, and then you might see a lot more scoring later because the defenses just get so tired out. But yeah, you are listening to my live reactions here to Eagles at Packers on Monday Night Football here on the Dustytron channel, being simulcast on YouTube Live and TikTok Live. Upcoming at halftime, you'll be able to hear my reactions to the prior week's games. Yeah, we had some crazy ones and some not so fun ones for Carolina Panthers fans. Coming off a great win over Green Bay last week, and then this week we come out and lose to the one-win Saints at home. So it's like, it's even worse that I was at home that we had to lose to the Saints, because we were generally pretty good. We started out the season, I want to say 3-0 at home, but we've lost the last two. We've lost to the Bills and the Saints at home in consecutive home games. So, yeah, and I think the Saints unfortunately put the blueprint out there on how to stop Carolina. Stop the run game, force Bryce Young to beat you. He can't do it. And that's exactly what happened. The Panthers had a good first drive, got a touchdown, and didn't score for the rest of the game. Taking a look at some stuff over here. See if adding a description here might help a little bit with getting some volume, some traffic. All right, that's on first down. Hurts from his own 20-yard line. Throws. Oh, it was almost tipped by the Packers, but it got to Dallas Goedert. It's going to get about 7. I think the Eagles are coming off a bye week this week. I can't remember. All right, we've got Hurts on 2nd and 2. They call that an 8-yard gain. Oh, good play by the Packers. Nixon able to knock it away, and so that is an incomplete pass. All right, we put a description on this stream now, so maybe YouTube will recommend it a little bit more. Actually, I forgot to. I probably put hashtags in there. Hurts. Oh, throws incomplete to Jihad Dotson on 3rd down. So the Eagles, they'll probably have to punt as well. See if that might drive a little bit more traffic. All right, we've got Man to punt for the Eagles. Romeo Dobbs back to receive. So the Eagles, that's a second straight 3 and out. It's a bad punt. It rolls only to the Packers' 42-yard line. So bad punt by the Eagles gives good field position to the Packers. Yeah, that's only about a, 30-yard punt? Yeah, not very good there. But still 0-0, 7:25 to play in the second quarter. Now what happens here? Looks like it might have skimmed off his offensive lineman a little bit. So midway through the second quarter, gotta change the possession football here. Goes from the Eagles to the Packers. Dun dun. Accidentally moved the scoreboard instead of the football. All right, looking forward, let's take a look here. Yeah, definitely some interesting matchups this last week in the NFL. We'll review them at halftime. But yeah, I gotta say, one of the bigger shocks of this last week. Look at that was the prior week. The Panthers upsetting the Packers, but this week it was the Panthers getting upset themselves. Never trust Carolina when they're favored in a game. Yeah, because they lost to New Orleans, who only had one win going into this week. And hopefully we can get back on track against Atlanta next week. All right, we've got Jordan Love out of the pistol from their own 41-yard line. 7:25 left to play in the second. Love throws. It's batted away by Quinion Mitchell, who's back in the game. It's a good break on the ball by Mitchell. Makes me think of Joe Buck. Mitchell. 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 Down at the 20-yard line. Got the NFC Championship game between the Bucks and the Eagles. That was one of Joe Buck's more notorious calls. All right, there's a pitch to Emmanuel Wilson, and he's going to go down after 3. So this is going to be a 3rd and 7 coming up for the Packers. And yeah, offense definitely struggling today. The defenses came to play. The best drive of the game was the Eagles' first drive, where they were able to drive down all the way to the 25-yard line of Green Bay, but Jalen Hurts fumbled the ball, and the Packers got it. And ever since then, there hasn't been much offensive production. Love gets his pass batted at the line. It's incomplete. And so the Packers are going to have to punt. Plus, this quarter's going a lot slower than the other one because of so many incomplete passes. I think that's Jordan Love's 3rd. It's at least his 2nd. think it's his third pass that he's gotten battened down at the line. It's Jalen Carter again, getting his hand up on this one. He's having a big night hitting Jordan Love's passes. All right, we've got Whalen punting the ball away. Lots of punts in this game. Oh, it's Xavier Gibson who's returning. He's the guy who was on the Jets last year. And that is a return to the 26-yard line. So the Eagles will take over from their own 26-yard line with 6 minutes and 37 seconds left to play in the second quarter. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel, on being simulcast on YouTube Live and TikTok Live. For those of you tuning in, this is the Dusty Tron channel. Thanks for tuning in and spending some of your evening with us. We post great content all the time. On Tuesdays, we post game picks. On Wednesdays, we post power rankings. And one day throughout the week, we generally live stream a reaction to one of the games that's on. We were doing Thursday Night Football, but some of those Thursday Night Football games started to become some not so great matchups. This last week with the Raiders and the Broncos, yeah, that was really really bad. So I decided not to stream that one. And seeing some of the stuff that came out on social media after it, it was one of the least efficient games in NFL history. I'm kind of glad that I didn't stream that one. But we are streaming the Eagles-Packers tonight, where not a lot of action, but the defenses are coming to play. There's a lot at line. You can tell the intensity of the defense that they're really wanting this one. The offenses, they got to pick it up, though. Taking a look at the stats. Let's take a look at Philadelphia first. Hurts is 6 of 10 for 39 yards, 60% completion percentage. Only a 68.3 rating, though. Saquon Barkley, 7 attempts for 25 yards, long of 15. Jalen Hurts, 2 for 13 yards, long of 10. Will Shipley, 2 rushes for 11 yards, long of 7. Tank Bigsby, 1 rush for 5 yards, and of course, a long of 5 there. Receiving for the Eagles, A.J. Brown, 2 catches for 13 yards, long of 7. Will Shipley, 1 catch for 11 yards, long of 11. Dallas Goedert, 1 catch for 8 yards. Devonta Smith, 1 catch. Hang on. Detected inactivity? No, I haven't. There we go. TikTok was trying to end my stream, but I'm talking. Okay, I don't know why it was thinking I was inactive. But yeah, we've still got a 0-0 game with the Eagles and the Packers here. They start from their own 26-yard line. This is a handoff to Barkley on the right side, and he gets a good gain. Looks like it's going to be about an 8-yard gain. Oh, and the possession football does need to move over to Philadelphia. Pack goes from the Packers to the Eagles. Dun dun. All right, we've got a 2nd and 3 as we wind under 6 minutes in the half. It's another handoff to Barkley on the right side. He's got a good gain again. That's going to go for about 7 and picks him up a first down. Well, it looks like there's an injury on the field. There's also a flag. Welcome in, Breaking the Plane. This is the Dusty Tron channel. It's being simulcast on YouTube Live and TikTok Live. All right, looks like we have offsetting penalties on this play, so the flags won't come into play. Oh, that's Lane Johnson who's injured on the play. That could be a big hit to the Eagles offense. We'll have to see what's up with him. He's going to the blue medical tent. Hopefully he's okay. We've got a 2nd and 3 coming up. There's 5 minutes and 54 seconds left in the second quarter. Hurts out of the pistol. He has Barkley in the backfield. And there's a handoff to Barkley. He's down after about 2. Oh, there's a little heart sent from breaking the plane here. Thanks for the gift. All right, we've got a 3rd and 2 upcoming here. Can Hurts pick it up? Throws. Oh, did Goddard get held there? He's going to draw the flag. Yep. Looks like Sorrell held him. Was it Sorrell or was it someone else? Number 33. Let's see who that is. Evan Williams holds him. All right. We've got Hurts under center. Oh, that might have been a false start on the Eagles there. I appreciate the cheap rose. Thank you. I don't understand. I'm not really sure if I can send anything back. All right, we've got Hurts out of the shotgun on a 1st and 15 after the false start. Barkley started up the middle, but able to kick it to the right side and gets a lot more. There is a flag down. That might be a hold. Oh, yeah. I had to buy my brother dinner because he's a Jags fan. I'm a Panthers fan. And we finally just got around to resolving a bet where I had bet that the Panthers were going to win. He was bet that the Jaguars were going to win. And I had to buy him sushi tonight because the Jaguars won 26-10 back in week 1. Oh, yeah, that's a good call. That is a hold on the Eagles. So the Eagles just backing themselves up here. It's a 1st and 25. It wasn't that bad. All right. We've got Hurts out of the shotgun. Hands it off. This is Tank Bigsby this time, former Jaguar. Gets it to the 30-yard line. That's about a 5-yard gain, I believe. So many rolls. All right, under 4 minutes to play here. 2nd and 20. Hurts out of the shotgun. That was indeed a 5-yard gain. Take Bigsby behind him. He's got 3 wide receivers. Devonta Smith in motion from the left to the right. Throws. It's complete. It's a wide receiver screen. And a foot tackle by Evan Williams there. Gonna get about 10, I think, on the play. So starting from 1st and 25, this is a 3rd and 11. So I would argue that that's 3rd and manageable, given what you had. All right, we've got the 3rd and 11. Under 3 minutes to play, the Packers bring 4. Parsons trying to get to him, can't get there. Hurts fakes a flip pass and then slides after 4. So this is going to be short. All right, still trying to figure out these controls over on TikTok Live here. Yeah, no, over 1,000 likes. Yeah, thanks, Breaking the Plane. Okay, apply here. All right. Yes, Dusty Tron was taken, so I had to choose the Dusty Tron. There is a flag on this punt. Looks like it's going to be on the Eagles. Either way, it looks like the possession football is going to move from the Eagles to the Packers. Ah, dun dun. Yep, only people do that to the Washington football team. Okay, so it actually looks like they're going to re-punt this one based on the penalty, so it has not gone to the Packers yet. Got to give the possession football back to the Eagles. Oh, dun dun. All right. Eagles setting up to punt again. 2nd and 7. Or sorry, 2 minutes and 7 seconds left to play in the second. There's the kick. Looks like it's gonna bounce before Romeo Doubs. He picks it up and runs with it. It's always dangerous to do, but he is able to get it to about the 32-yard line. So we'll see if that's the 2-minute warning there. 1 minute and 54 seconds left to play in the second. Now the possession football can move over to the Packers from the Eagles. Ah, dun dun. But yeah, 1 minute and 54 seconds left. We'll see if the Packers can get something going with this 2-minute drill. But yeah, nothing so far still. Still 0-0. Eagles versus Packers. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dusty Tron channel, being simulcast on both YouTube and TikTok. All right, but yeah, coming up, we've got the Dusty Tron halftime report. We'll be talking about the last week's games, my reactions to them, what's going on. in this NFL season where it seems like you can't predict anything. Are the good teams actually good? Dunno. Yeah, looking forward to some of the games coming up. Still gotta edit my picks video. Not all my picks are in. Are there any good match? I think the Bucks and Bills matchup will be a good matchup next week. Bears Vikings could be deceptively good. Bengals Steelers, can Flacco bring out some Flacco magic like he did last time? Oh, the game of the week. Yeah, Seattle versus the Rams. That is my NFC Championship pick right now. And yeah, I think that's going to be an awesome game. Another game that's going to be good is the Chiefs at the Broncos. That could be a really good one. And then you've got the Lions and the Eagles. That, I mean, it might not be the best game because, I mean, this game's been a little bit of a defensive battle so far. But that one, as well as this one, has huge implications for the playoff race. All right, Love throws. It's complete to Musgrave. He's going to get about 8 on the play. He was able to get out of bounds, so 2nd and 2 upcoming. We've got 2nd and 2. It's a handoff to Josh Jacobs, and he's going to get the first down out to about the Packers' 46-yard line. So we wind under 1:40 left to play. The clock is running. The Packers have a first down, but they're probably fairly content to take a good amount of time off the clock here. All right, there's the pass. Throws complete to Josh Jacobs down at the 50. It's about a 4-yard gain as we're getting close to 1 minute left. Sorry, 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5 upcoming. Well, the Packers just kind of playing for a field goal here. What are the Eagles going to do defensively? Wind under 1 minute here. They rush 4. Love better get rid of that. Okay, he got out of it. And he's going to get it into field goal range. They get the first down, and he gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 51 seconds on the clock. So good play. The pocket was collapsing, but Jordan Love able to step up in the pocket and get away from the pressure. You know, it's a good play here. He finds the way out. Because, yeah, that pocket was definitely collapsing on him. He's able to pick up the first and get out of bounds. So this is probably the Packers' second best drive of the game. Their first drive of the game, they were able to get it into Eagles territory, but it stalled out because of a bad sack that Jordan Love took. They are at the Eagles' 42-yard line. Love back to throw. Trying to find something. Gets it to Josh Jacobs, who's in stride. He didn't get out of bounds. So they're going to have to use a timeout there. Got about 9. Yeah, he was very close, but did not get it out of bounds. And they're figuring out what they're going to be doing next. Might have had to inspect something. There's a stoppage in play. So the Packers had a lot of trouble moving the ball down the field, but they've moved it down the field decently this drive. Got to wonder if maybe the Eagles defense starting to get a little tired here. Yeah, not really sure what the holdup is here. They took a timeout. Maybe they're reviewing the spot to see if they had to take a timeout. Because the Packers would probably want to be able to save that timeout if they can. But so far, both defenses kind of dominating the night so far. Yeah, the Eagles have 48 passing yards and 71 rushing yards. The Packers have 34 passing yards and 63 rushing yards. So, yeah, the Eagles barely over 100, and the Packers, let's see, 34. Yeah, they are just barely under. Yeah, they're at 97. And yeah, just an update on Lane Johnson. He did have to get carted to the locker room, so that's not looking too good for him to return. It appears to be an ankle injury. 2nd and 1 for the Packers. 42 seconds left in the second. They did have to take the timeout, so they've got 2 remaining. Love throws. It's complete to Dobbs, and he gets out of bounds and picks up the Packer first down. That's about a 5-yard gain. So, yeah, we've got a 1st and 10 with 38 seconds on the clock coming up. The Packers at the 27-yard line of the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Eagles bring 4. Love trying to scamper around, and he's not going to escape this time, but did get it back to the line of scrimmage. So that'll probably be a timeout taken by Green Bay there. Yeah, just good pressure by the Eagles there. I think it was Nolan Smith who got him. Let me see if I'm right about that. Yep, Nolan Smith. And it looks like we have another injured Packer. It's number 74. That's Elgton Jenkins. Got his ankle rolled up by Jordan Love there when he got tackled. Yeah, not great. So an injury to the offensive line for Green Bay, that's not going to help them. We'll see what the Packers do on this upcoming 2nd and 10. So the first quarter went really fast because of that long, like 8.5-minute drive by the Eagles. But this second quarter has gone incredibly slow due to neither team really being able to sustain a drive and a lot of incomplete passes. We've got 31 seconds left in the second. Love out of the shotgun, has the ball, and he's got pressure again. Oh, and he fumbled the ball. He was trying to, like, dump it off to Josh Jacobs and makes a ridiculous play. These are the bad things Jordan Love does sometimes. He was trying to save the sack because the sack would probably get them out of field goal range. He's trying to, the ball just slips out as he's trying to push it forward, and I don't think that's a pass. Yeah, it just slips out. That's a fumble. So if the Eagles get this is going to be Eagles ball. The refs still haven't decided who has it. And now they award it to Philadelphia. So the possession football is going to move. The Packers had a drive that was going into Eagles territory. The Eagles start bringing the pass rush. Jordan Love makes a crucial mistake, and it goes over to Philadelphia. Ah, dun dun. So the Eagles, they'll have about 20-something seconds, but I believe they're at their own 40, so that's not out of the realm of possibility. 3 timeouts, you get this into field goal range. I remember there was Madden 10. I had D'Angelo Williams, and he was really, really good. I was playing on All-Pro, too. And I kid you not, like, I could not get the passing game going. But in 6-minute quarter games, I had D'Angelo Williams rush for over 3,000 rushing yards. And I would just run the ball in situations. I didn't, in like a situation like this, I have 3 timeouts. I would just run the ball down the field because my passing attack was so ineffective. But the rushing game, it must have been broken in that version or something because I just ran all over every single team. All right, so we've got Jalen Hurts out of the shotgun. They start from their own 35. Parsons was in the backfield. They're giving Hurts chase. He's going to get out of bounds after about 3 yards. Yeah, a little push there, but Hurts doesn't even fall over. I really don't want them to flag that. 2nd and 10 with 16 seconds left on the clock. All right, out of the shotgun, he's got Shipley to his right. Hurts throws. Oh, it was too short for Devonta Smith. Incomplete. So 11 seconds to go, 3rd and 6. Yeah, Hurts, he steps back, throws this one, and yeah, just doesn't get enough on it. Smith tries to come back to it and just can't get there. 3rd and 6 with 11 seconds left on the clock. The Eagles still have all 3 timeouts. Can use anywhere on the field, and they hand it off to Shipley. That's not going to work. He only gets about 2 yards. And yeah, it's 4 seconds left. Did the Packers call time, or did the Eagles call time? Because they might have Hurts just chuck one for the end zone here. Nope, Green Bay took the timeout. So, the Eagles might do something where they just scramble out the clock rather than punt and try to give the Packers an opportunity to return. So, yeah, definitely a defensive battle here. It depends on what type of football you like. You might think this is really exciting or really boring. I think it's a good game so far. Both teams are really fighting for this one. They have to, because 2nd place in the NFC is on the line here. But there is no score yet. Both defenses have come to play so far. And Hurts, yeah, he's just going to try to heave this one deep. No, he actually just throws it out of bounds to end the half. That makes sense. Yeah, don't punt it to the Packers. You just roll out, run the clock out, and go to halftime. So that is halftime here on the Dusty Tron channel. We have got a very much defensive-oriented game here. It is 0-0 at the half. And we do have the Dusty Tron halftime report coming up, where I will talk about the games from this last week, my thoughts and reactions to those. So going down the line here, let's pull it up. All right. Starting with the Raiders and the Broncos. As I've said a couple of times on this stream already, I'm glad I did not decide to stream that Thursday night football game. That was really bad. And I heard on social media afterwards that it was one of the least efficient games in NFL history. Just so many mistakes made. It was a very sloppy game. So the Broncos win that one 10-7. I, as a Panthers fan, I despise the Denver Broncos. Still bitter over Super Bowl 50, so anytime I see the Broncos win, I have to say, boo! All right, we've got, this one was crazy. It was the international game between the Falcons and the Colts. The Colts pull it off in overtime, and I was getting ready to turn on the 1 p.m. slate of games, and I saw, wait a second, the Falcons-Colts game is still going on, and Jonathan Taylor went crazy, 244 rushing yards and 3 touchdown runs. Single-handedly won me some of my fantasy matchups this week. All right. Let's see what the next one was. Oh, the Giants and the Bears. The Bears pull that one off 24-20. The Giants were up 20-7. But then Jackson Dart got injured. Russell Wilson came in. The Giants offense ground to a halt. And the Bears were able to come back. Caleb Williams had a touchdown run at the end. So this is 2 weeks in a row where they've had a final drive at the end of the game where they were able to take the lead and keep it. We had Caleb Williams' touchdown pass to Colston Loveland against the Bengals, not this last week, but the week before, to beat the Bengals. And then this week, Caleb Williams has a big scramble for a touchdown to beat the Giants. So the Bears, they're 6-3 right now. They topped their win total from last year, which was 5. When they got to 4-2, I thought, oh, it's the Bears. They're going to show their colors, and they're going to falter down the stretch. But the Bears, they're giving them credit. They're finding ways to win. And they're 6-3, although I still would not be surprised if they happen to falter down the stretch. And I mean, honestly, if I want the Panthers to sneak into that 7th seed, I need the 49ers and the Bears to start losing. All right, the next game. Oh, this is probably the biggest shock of the week in a week full of shockers. The Dolphins dismantling the Bills 30-13. And I kind of just chalk it up to divisional battles, especially the last time the Bills and the Dolphins played each other this year on Thursday Night Football. It was close. There's just something about divisional games, no matter how bad the bad team is, they can sometimes really put up a fight. And this time, the Dolphins didn't just put up a fight, they blew them out by 17, 30-13. So my prediction, it's just an off week for the Bills. They're going to get back on track against the Bucs next week, and I have them winning that game. The Bucs haven't quite been as good in recent weeks. We've got the Ravens over the Minnesota Vikings winning 27-19, and I've been calling it. So in my midseason predictions video, I predicted that the Baltimore Ravens would find a way to squeak into that 7th seed. And don't look now, but they're 4-5, and I think they're only 1 loss behind the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's take a look at that. NFL standings 2025. All right. Yeah, they are literally 1 game behind the Steelers. So, yeah, it's Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, Browns now. Everyone was writing out the Ravens, and I said, well, not so fast, because they can still win that division. And I mean, they're only 1 game out of the wild card. The wild card team is Jacksonville right now with a 5-4 record. So Baltimore is far from out of this. Now that defense, though, that is a major liability. All right, going back to the slate here. We've got Cleveland and New York. New York ended up winning the Jets. The New York Jets ended up winning 27-20 over the Cleveland Browns. And yeah, that was just two of the worst teams in the league going at it. Made for a somewhat exciting game, though. They played decently against each other, but New York able to prevail in the end. One of the better games of the week was the Patriots at the Bucks, though. Patriots able to pull off that win, 28-23. Travion Henderson, 147 rushing yards. And Emeka Ibuka, he got 115 receiving yards. So he definitely, after being a little cool the past couple of weeks, I think he had 2 touchdown receptions in that game. So I really don't think there's anybody else for Rookie of the Year that you can think of. Offensive Rookie of the Year, that is. Because nobody else is really putting up a season from a rookie quite like he is. The disappointment of the week is the Saints at the Panthers. The Panthers hosting the Saints lose by 10. And they were only able to muster like 50-something yards on the ground. The Saints came in with a game plan to shut down the running game. They succeeded at that, and they were able to pull off the win, pull off the upset on the road. Probably the craziest game of the week was the Jaguars at the Texans, where the Texans were down 29-10 in the fourth quarter. And were able to pull off the victory. It ended up being 36-29. In all due, like, it was really 30-29. They got a touchdown on a meaningless play on the last play. Kind of just ran up the score a little bit there. But the Texans, yeah, they come back and win after being down 19, 3 possessions. In the fourth quarter, it looked all but over, but Davis Mills able to lead them back to victory, and they win 36-29. And then that was it for the 1 p.m. slate of games. And then the 4 p.m. slate of games, nothing was close. The Seahawks dismantled the Cardinals 44-22. The Lions dismantled the Commanders 44-22. I'm wondering if in NFL history that's the first time that there have been 2 44-22 games in the same week. But yeah, exact same score, and it was, one was the home team, one was the away team. Never mind. Hey Bill, how's it going? All right, we've got the Rams and the 49ers. Yeah, Rams owned the 49ers. They got up 21-0. I think they got the score to 21-14. San Francisco did, but then yeah, LA just ran away with it again. And then the Chargers owned the Steelers on Sunday Night Football 25-10. Yeah, I don't know if it stinks necessarily or just that there's just not a lot of offense. The defense came to play. So yeah, 0-0 right now. Yeah, day's going pretty good. Can't complain. Traffic has been a little slow here, so I can't guarantee I'll stay on much past the third quarter. But yeah, we'll see if things pick up in the second half here. I mean, to be fair, it's a pretty slow game, so. But we are simulcasting on both YouTube and TikTok today. Bill is over in the YouTube chat. Yeah, normally I would be streaming Thursday night, so I'd be like, oh yeah, today's Friday, but it's Monday today, so it's like, I can't complain, but tomorrow's Tuesday, not Friday. Yeah, Thursday Night Football, it's Friday Eve. But Monday, you're kind of just starting out the week. Yeah, so they had a promising drive going at the end of the half there, Bill, but the Jordan Love fumble there. So really, both teams promising drive because the Eagles got to the 25 of the Packers, and then Jalen Hurts fumbled. The Packers get to like field goal range on the Eagles side of the fall, and then Jordan Love fumbles. So I don't know. Either the defense is coming to play or the offense just isn't really coming to play at all. But yeah, scoreless first half, 0-0. But I mean, with the defenses playing so hard in the first half, you might see that the teams they might get a little tired going down the stretch here. We might see some more points going forward. Yeah, I do believe the Eagles start out with the ball. The Packers started with it first, so it will be Eagles possession. But that does mean I need to move the possession football over to Green Bay so that it can then move back over to Philadelphia. But yeah, the Bears have snuck into the 7th seed in the NFC playoffs. They're somehow continuing to get wins and they're sticking around. Find that ridiculous that the Bears are in the postseason. But yeah, the 49ers kind of faltering right now. And Carolina had an opportunity to get really into that 7th seed picture, but had to lose to the Saints. Well, I really hope it's not a 0-0 tie. That would be ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know if an NFL team has ever finished with 2 ties on the season. I know I've never seen it, but I'm wondering if something like the strike season had it or something. Let's see. Has an NFL team ever finished with 2 ties? Okay, so ever since 1974, when the NFL implemented overtime as part of gameplay, no team has completed a season with 2 tied games. However, sounds like before that, when overtime wasn't a thing, there were multiple teams with 2 tie games. But yeah, with how the rules are changing to shorten overtime and that both teams get a possession, it changes that equation. Makes ties a lot more likely. All right, and here's the kickoff. The Packers kick it off to the Eagles. It's fielded by Will Shipley. Ta-da! Goes over to the Eagles. All right, and he's down at the 27-yard line. Well, weren't you telling me that you had like family who's they're Bears fans? Yeah, I'm kind of indifferent to the Bears. I know someone who likes the Bears a lot, so I just kind of give them crap at times. But the Bears, I'm kind of indifferent to. I just think they're boring. All right, we've got Hurts. I have the Packers winning, actually, Bill. Now, I can't remember if that's what I picked in my video, but I do feel like the Packers are going to win this one. All right, so the first play is a handoff to Saquon Barkley. Goes for about 5 yards. Second and 3 upcoming. Hurts out of the pistol. And here's the handoff to, oh, it's a fake. Then throws it to Goddard, and he's going to get the first. So that's about a 5-yard gain. So we're under 14 minutes to play in the third. We'll see if the Eagles can get something going on this drive. The Eagles' last few possessions been very poor in terms of yardage output. Under 13 and a half to play. We'll see if the Eagles, so their best drive of the game, they took like 8.5 minutes off the clock. We'll see if they can keep the clock churning on this one. Hurts throws long over the middle, completes it to Goddard. And he's going to get it all the way to the 37-yard line of Green Bay. That's a big play, probably the biggest play of the game by either team. So maybe the Eagles made some adjustments in the locker room. Yeah, but Goddard wide open in the zone there. And they are now in Packers territory. Hurts back to throw. Gonna throw long, and he's gonna overthrow his tight end, number 81, Calcaterra. He had him too, just threw it too far. Yeah, it's a clean pocket. Throws. He's got his man. Just, yeah, kind of airmails him there. All right, 37-yard line, 2nd and 10. 12 minutes and 54 seconds to play. Barkley's in the backfield. Hurts under center. A.J. Brown in motion. There's a handoff to Barkley. He's got a good hold there. He's going to get about 8 on the run. So this is a 3rd and 3 or 2 coming up. Eagles wearing their black helmets, white jersey, and black pants. They've only done that one other time in their history, and that was against the Green Bay Packers in the Brazil game last year. Yeah, I don't know. I thought these black Eagles helmets would look better, but I'm just kind of unimpressed with them. From a distance, they just don't look that much different than the midnight green version. So it is 3rd and 3. It's a handoff to nope, it's a fake. They run that same play. It's a fake to Barkley, and they throw it to Goddard in the flat, and it's able to get the first down. So Eagles continuing to move the ball down the field. But I'll admit, both of those fakes to Barkley, they got me. I thought he had handed the ball off. Instead, he hits Goddard on the flat, pulling the ball back on the RPO. So this is definitely the Eagles' at least second best drive of the game. The Packers bring some heat. Can they get to Hurts? No. Hurts scrambles out and is going to get 5 out of this. So they brought heat. The pocket collapsed, but they were not able to get to Hurts. Yeah, they brought an extra rusher on that one. But the pressure just didn't quite get there. Hurts was too elusive. So Lane Johnson was questionable with an ankle injury. Is he going to come back into the game? We'll have to wait and see. So it was a 6-yard gain officially, 2nd and 4. It's a handoff to Tank Bigsby, and he's met in the backfield by, I think that's, who is that? I know number 7. Is that Quay Walker? That's who it is. Quay Walker knifes into the backfield and gets Tank Bigsby down for probably, I want to say this is a loss of 3 here. So it's going to be 3rd and mid-range. All right, big 3rd and 7 coming up here for Philadelphia. They are in field goal range. Can the Packers hold them to a field goal? They're showing blitz. Are they going to bring it? Oh, did the Eagles false start? There's the flag. It looks like they did. Or no, it's a delay of game. Did they take a timeout before the delay of game flag? Nope. Delay of game on the Eagles. So that's going to push them back 5 yards. Yeah, they just did not get that play off. Gotta wonder if there's some miscommunication on that line with Lane Johnson out. All right, so it was a 3rd and 7. Well, there was a 2nd and 4. We're now to 3rd and 12. And here's a handoff. They're just trying to get a little closer, it looks like. It's to Shipley. Looks like he gets about 3. So I guess seeing how the game is going, the Eagles are just content to go for the field goal here as we wind under 9.5 to play in the 3rd. Jake Elliott lining up. 4th and 8. And there's the kick. It's up, and it's good, and there. It takes to 8:58 left in the 3rd quarter, but we have our first points of the game. 3-0 Eagles over Cowboys. You're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live and TikTok Live. So 3-0 Philadelphia, and I wonder if that's going to be the difference maker in this one because offense is at a premium. Well, the Eagles, they came out in the second half and had a good drive down the field, so we'll have to see if the Packers can in kind make some halftime adjustments and get some points of their own. They had a good drive going before the end of the first half, but Jordan Love fumbled when he was being pressured by Eagles players. The Packers could have gotten a field goal before the half, but just, yeah, the turnover hurt them. Well, and he was being tackled kind of out of field goal range, so he's trying to make something happen, fumbles the ball, and they lose an opportunity for points. Now, granted, Brandon McManus, he's been having some issues with field goal kicks this year, so it definitely wasn't a guarantee that he would have made it, but they at least would have had an attempt. Because, yeah, he definitely missed an easy one against Carolina last week, and that could have been the difference in the game because they ended up losing by 3. And yes, Bill, I am going to have to bring up several times in this stream that the Panthers did beat the Packers last week. So waiting for the kickoff to happen, we've got 3-0 Eagles over the Packers. 8 minutes and 58 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Checking over on the YouTube chat here. Or sorry, the TikTok chat. Got people kind of coming and going. Thanks for everyone who has attended my first TikTok live stream. We are simulcasting on YouTube and TikTok. Here's the kickoff. And that is number 16 returning it. I don't know who that is. And he gets it to about the 28-yard line. That's Bo Melton. Oh, that's the guy that they were thinking was going to play cornerback for them a little bit. Like they have their own Travis Hunter or whatnot. right, so the Green Bay Packers, they got to show that they've made some adjustments at halftime because, yeah, they, besides the drive at the end of the half, and I believe it was, yeah, there was a drive before that where they had some success. Or no, it was their first drive where they got into Eagles range and then Love got sacked out of Eagles range. Throws out, here's a completion to Watson. There is a flag though, and I have a feeling that might be holding on the offense. We'll see what the refs say. 3-0 Eagles over Packers. Oh, it's holding on the defense. Holding on the defense, so that penalty is declined, and the about 15-yard completion to Christian Watson will hold. Yeah, see if we can see the hold here. Yeah, maybe when Watson's trying to come out of his break, but Watson wins it, so it didn't really affect the play, although I know that's not how holding is called. Oh, so does Bo Melton just play on the defensive side of the ball now? Because, yeah, I heard that they were converting him. All right, hands it off to Jacobs up the middle. That looks like it's going to be a 6-yard gain. As we wind under 8 minutes to play in the third quarter. Oh, the possession football didn't move. My bad. Dun, dun. The Packers have it now. 3-0 Eagles over the Packers. Points at a premium in this game. Love under center. He's got Josh Jacobs in the backfield behind him. Well, he's actually, Bo Melton's on the field here. Yeah, number 16 just moved in motion there, so he's on the field. So on the offensive side. So, yeah, maybe he plays both. But that's a 3-yard run for Jacobs, and we've got a 3rd and 3 upcoming. Under 7.5 to play, halfway through the third quarter. It's 3-0 Eagles over the Packers. All right, we've got Love out of the shotgun. Jacobs to his left. Under 7 minutes to play in the third. Can the Packers convert this first down? Throws, it's complete. Yeah, that's complete to Dontavian Wicks, and that is going to be a first down. So the Packers move the chains and keep this drive alive. All right, so the Packers have it at the Eagles' 42-yard line. Eagles take their opening possession of the second half, get some points. Can the Packers do the same? They are in Eagles territory. Here's a handoff to Jacobs, and oh my gosh, it gets blown up by Hunt in the backfield. That could be like a loss of 5. Yeah, Hunt was the guy who got the sack on Love on the first drive of the game for Green Bay, getting them out of field goal range. Yeah, that's Jalix Hunt. So that's a big play by the Eagles there. 2nd and 14, so it's a loss of 4 on the play. Bo Melton moving back and forth in motion before the play. Love steps up. His pocket collapsed. He's able to get about 4 on the scrambles. This is going to be a 3rd and 10 coming up for Green Bay. Can they convert and keep this important drive going? The Eagles able to get the first points of the game. The Packers, I feel like, need to respond. Otherwise, we may be staring at a 3-0 game. Yeah, if we end up getting into a battle of field goals here. It's the Packers from the Eagles' 41-yard line, 3rd and 9. Love takes it out of the shotgun. It's a 4-man rush by Philadelphia. He throws. Oh, Dobbs had it but couldn't hold on. Was it a good pass by Love? It looked like it. And now you wonder, are the Packers going to go for it here? Yeah, there's Dobbs there, and he has it, just can't hold on to it. It's a tough catch to make, but still. Just can't make the play. All right, and it does look like they're going for it. There's no real reason to try to just hard count them here because an offsides would not get you. They go for it. Love out of the shotgun. He had 5 wide receivers. He throws. Oh, it was caught for a second by Heath, I believe. But then he gets hit, and it's knocked away, incomplete by Blankenship. And the Packers are going to turn it over on downs. Oh, sorry, that's Bo Melton, actually. So speaking of which, oh, Bo, you got to catch that. It bounced off his chest. So it wasn't so much the Eagles player who knocked it away. It just bounced off Bo Melton's chest. So 2 drop passes in a row leads to the Packers turning it over on downs, and the possession football needs to move back to the Eagles. Dun dun. All right, so now the Eagles really have a big opportunity. So this is really falling on the Packers defense to prevent the Eagles from getting points here, because the Eagles are going to start from their own 41-yard line, which is great starting field position for them. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough game. I mean, these are 2 of the top teams in the NFC, so it's like I expect a close game here. I just kind of thought there might be a little bit more offense on this one. But yeah, 3-0 Eagles. Taking a look over at the stats here. You've got some lackluster stats. 4:42 left in the third quarter. Hurts is 10 of 17 for 83 passing yards and a 71.4 rating. No touchdowns or interceptions. Barkley, 11 rushes for 46 yards. Jalen Hurts, 5 rushes for 27 yards. Will Shipley, 4 rushes for 17 yards. Tank Bigsby, 3 rushes for 7 yards. So they have 83 passing yards and 97 rushing yards. Yeah, Jalen Hurts having some good scrambles there. You've got Goddard as the leading receiver for the Eagles. 4 catches for 43 yards. Smith, 2 catches for 17 yards. A.J. Brown, 2 catches for 13 yards. Shipley, 1 for 11. Barkley, 2 catches for no yards. And that's it there. The Packers, Jordan Love is 8 of 14 for 63 yards. They only have 63 yards passing. He's taken 3 sacks, rating of 68.5. And now we've got the Eagles starting with 4:42 on the clock. 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line. Hurts out of the shotgun, trying to avoid some pressure, throws it, dumps it off to Barkley, and he's going to get nothing. So 71 rushing yards for the Packers total. Jordan Love has 28, so actually, surprisingly, Jordan Love's rushing numbers and Jalen Hurts' rushing numbers are pretty similar. 5 rushes for 27 and 5 rushes for 28, respectively. Jacobs has 13 rushes for 41 yards, averaging like 3.2 a carry. 2nd and 9, so Barkley officially got 1 yard on that. Oh, but he gets the handoff here and is going to get dumped 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So that's a big play by the Packers, and it's going to set up 3rd and long for Philadelphia. 3rd and 15. That's Wyatt who comes in on the play. Yeah, Wyatt just breaks through the line. And it looks like there was almost a miscommunication on the block there. Just comes straight through and blows up the run play. And now Hurts out of the shotgun. I believe that's Shipley behind him. He's back to throw. Pressure getting there. He's just going to toss it to Shipley. He's got a blocker, but he's going to be stopped about, I want to call that like 7 yards shy of the first down. And so that's good defense by Green Bay, and the Eagles are going to have to punt it. Yeah, 4th and 9. It was a 6-yard pickup. Three to nothing. Yeah, no, it's only 3 points. They just need one good drive, and they'll have the lead or tie it. And there's the punt. Oh, no. Okay, so the punter got knocked over, but I think he got hit by his own man. The punt does go into the end zone, so it's a touchback. And yeah, Green Bay is going to come onto the field. I wonder how cold it is in Green Bay tonight. Maybe that's having an impact on the game a bit. Let's see. Current temperature in Green Bay, Wisconsin. 28. So it's cold, but not like freezing. But yeah, for the Packers, yeah, I think I didn't go over the receiving stats. So the receiving leader is Josh Jacobs with 3 catches for 20 yards. That's just sad. Christian Watson has that 1 catch for 20 yards. Luke Musgrave, 2 catches for 14. Romeo Doubs, 1 catch for 5. He should have had another, but he dropped it. Dontavian Wicks, 1 catch for 4 yards. And Bo Melton has that 1 target. Would have kept the drive going, but yeah, he has no catches because it bounced right off his chest. Oh, so there's a big wind chill there. Oh, also, I need to move the possession football. Ah, dun dun. All right, I think the TikTok stream is winding down here, so... Oh, there's 4 people on it. I'll keep it going for a little while longer. Oh, yes, I did see that there was a big wind last week. But hey, teams that know how to play, they adapt to the wind, and apparently the Packers couldn't last week. If anybody should be adapted to the cold and the wind, it should be Green Bay. That should be an advantage to them. I think the Packers just lost because they were wearing those atrocious uniforms. All right, so here we are. The Packers start at their own 20. It's a toss to Jacobs on the left, and he's going to have a nice run here for 11 and a first down. I saw the beach ball. Yeah, they had to stop the play, and it's like, oh, there's a beach ball on the field. All right, so we've got 1st and 10, under 2 minutes to play in the third. Love out of the pistol. Back to throw. Throws. It's complete. That's Dontavian Wicks. I think that's a 15-yard completion, but there is a flag on the play. We'll see if this one's coming back. Nope, holding on the defense, so it will stay. So a big play for the Packers. It's 1st and 10. They finally seem to be moving the ball a little bit consistently now. Yeah, Wicks with a nice catch there and a good throw by Love. And they are already at the 50-yard line. All right, it's a handoff to Jacobs. He's going to be stood up after about 3 yards. So yeah, I forgot Jalen Phillips. This is his first game as an Eagle. He came over in a trade at the trade deadline from the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, and that's a silent good signing. The problem with him, he's really good, but he just can't stay healthy. But yeah, as a rotational piece on that Eagles defensive line, he could be terrifying. All right. It's a handoff to Jacobs on 2nd down. Going to push forward for about another 2. So we've got a 3rd and 6 upcoming. And you wonder if, once again, the Packers are in 4-down territory. They would have converted last time if Bo Melton just knew how to use his hands. All right, Love out of the shotgun, and this is actually going to bring us to the conclusion of the 3rd quarter. We've got a thriller here, 3-0, Eagles over the Packers. Going into the 4th quarter, you're listening to my live reactions here on the Dustytron channel on YouTube Live and TikTok. All right. Gonna see what the Packers do on this drive. I still have to finish making my picks video, so I might drop off after this Packers drive. We'll see. But yeah, we definitely had some shocking games this last week. Somehow the Jaguars lost to the Texans after leading by 19 with 12 minutes left in the 4th quarter. You just don't see that happen very often. Still, not quite as bad as what the Giants did against the Broncos. Although, to the Giants' credit, they actually scored when the Broncos were coming back. But then the Jaguars during this Texans comeback just could do nothing. So waiting the Packers to return when the 4th quarter starts. All right, start of the 4th quarter, 3-0 Philadelphia. I've seen one game finish 3-0. I don't think this game will finish 3-0. But I've seen one game happen. It was that Hurricane Bowl between the Steelers and the Dolphins where the punt literally stuck in the mud. The The Steelers found a way to win that one 3-0. We've got a completion to Dontavian Wicks for a first down on this third down play. The Packers keep the drive moving, 1st and 10. Nice little out route there by Wicks. It might depend on the spot a little bit, but I think he got it. All right, yeah, we've got a 1st and 10. They might be looking at this again. Yeah, because when does he actually corral it? They get the snap off, so it's going to stand. Jacobs runs for about 6 up the middle. So we've got a 2nd and 4 upcoming for Green Bay. Sorry, 2nd and 6. My bad. All right, Love under center. There's the fake handoff to Jacobs. Love throws. There is a flag down. He completes it to Watson. That's at the 13-yard line of the Eagles, but we'll have to see if the play stands. I saw the flag in the backfield, so that might be holding. Might be offensive holding. It does look like it's offensive holding. So that's gonna, oh, sorry. Illegal formation. So that negates the play. Which is unfortunate. That was a big, like, 25-yard pass down the field to Christian Watson. Yeah, I still don't get all the rules with illegal formation, but refs say they did it, so. As we wind under 13 minutes to play in this final quarter. It's a 2nd and 11 for the Packers at the Eagles' 40-yard line. It's a play action to Josh Jacobs, and there's a lot of contact with Romeo Doubs there with Quinion Mitchell, but they're not going to call anything. 3rd and 11. And it'd be interesting to see this on the replay, because I thought Quinion Mitchell kind of it was all over Romeo Doubs there. Let's see. Okay, on replay, I think it looks pretty clean. And he was just kind of there, but he wasn't really impeding Dobbs' ability to get to the ball. All right, 3rd and 11. 13 minutes and 1 second left to play in the game. Love drops back. Has to scramble out right. Not really seeing anyone trying to direct traffic. Able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Throws it out of bounds. 4th and 11. So, yeah, the Packers had that big play downfield negated and then can't get anything going. Yeah, just nothing much on that play. Pretty good coverage all around. Yeah, he has Dobbs there for a second, but doesn't notice him. Or doesn't think he can get it there. So here's the punt by Green Bay. Bounces, bounces. Can they save it? Oh, that's an interesting play. The Eagles guy picked it up and started trying to return it after the Packers player batted it. Is this a safety? I don't think so. I think he's down at the 1 yard line. Or in between the 1 yard line and the end zone. The Packers are saying safety. I don't think it's a safety. Evan Williams being a little obnoxious with his safety signals. Because, yeah, it also might be a touchback if Bo Melton hit this. Okay, he's off the ground, though, when he hits it in the end zone. So that's legal. Doesn't hit the other Packers player. So we're going to have to see where they spot this. It is Eagles' ball. It is not a safety. Yeah, so it's probably down at the 1 yard line. Yeah, I really don't know why they picked up that football. Possession football needs to move. Dun dun. But I do think I gotta wrap this stream up. Got some stuff to get to. And not really getting much traffic here, so thanks to everyone who tuned in. I am going to have to cancel this stream a little bit before the game ends here. But thanks to everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Have a great evening, everyone. Oops.